Maybe you've got a trip to Paris on the calendar. Maybe you've just decided this is the year you finally learn French. So you do what everyone does. Download an app like Duolingo, build a streak, feel good about yourself. Then you try to converse with an actual French speaker and fumble. Rocket French says they built their program for people who want to get past that moment. I've put Rocket French to the test to find out if that's really true. We've tested a lot of French apps, and Rocket is built differently from most of them. Where something like Duolingo or Babbel hands you bite-sized drills, Rocket goes deep. The whole program is built around getting you to actually speak and understand spoken French, not just recognize words on a screen. At the heart of every lesson is an audio exercise. An English-speaking host walks you through a conversation between two native French speakers. These run about 20 to 30 minutes each, and here's what makes them work. The host is constantly stopping to explain what's being said, how the grammar functions, and the difference between the literal translation and what the phrase actually means in real life. That last part is huge when you're trying to get to a conversational level because French rarely translates word for word. But it's not just listening. From the very first lesson, you're prompted to respond out loud. The audio pauses, the native speaker asks you something, and it's all up to you to answer. But that's the entire point. It's the same low-grade pressure you feel in a real conversation. And the more you sit with it in a safe environment, the less it rattles you when it counts. After the audio, you move into the reinforcements. This is where Rocket pulls ahead of most competitors. You get dedicated grammar and culture lessons, plus drills focused on reading and writing. And the grammar instruction is the real deal, not a 2-sentence tip buried into a sidebar. Most apps either skip grammar entirely or expect you to absorb it from context. Rocket actually explains why the language works the way it does, in plain English, and it sticks. The culture lessons are a nice bonus too because they teach you the expressions and slang that make you sound like an actual person and not a textbook. Now let's talk about speaking practice, because this is where Rocket really separates itself from other apps. Most apps have you parrot back a few phrases with no context and call it a day. You record yourself and it grades your pronunciation using Google speech recognition tech, then lets you compare your attempt directly against a native speaker. Nobody loves seeing a low score staring back at them, but seeing exactly where your accent needs help is how you start making improvements. There's also a role-playing activity that has my favorite use of their speech tech. After an audio lesson, you can step into the conversation and play one of the characters. You pick your character, you get counted in, and you speak your lines when it's your turn, with voice recognition scoring how you did. You can run it from both sides of the conversation too, so you're practicing the full back and forth, not just one half of it. And Rocket recently rebuilt this into a vertical face-to-face format that feels like a video call. One more thing worth calling out, the survival kit lessons. These are quick, focused lessons covering the stuff you absolutely need to get by in France. Numbers, days and months, ordering at a restaurant, food and drink. It's the practical material that's hard to fit into a standard lesson, but you'll use constantly the moment that you land it. Now let's talk money, because Rocket prices things differently than almost everyone else does. There are no monthly subscriptions here. Instead, Rocket only sells one-time lifetime access packages. The full price breaks down like this. You can get level 1 for around $150, levels 1 and 2 together for about $300, and all 3 levels, beginner all the way to advanced, are $450. They also offer a standalone play the part conversational pack for $150. Yes, I know that sounds pretty steep, but fear not, Rocket runs sales practically year-round, and the all levels bundle is frequently discounted to around $250. So always check for a coupon before you buy. I'll keep the most current code I can find down below in the description. To compare, that lifetime model actually stacks up pretty well. You're paying once and you own it forever, including all future updates. Compared to apps that charge you every single month, that can work out cheaper over time if you're in it for the long haul. There's also a 6-month payment plan on the 3-level bundle if you'd rather spread it out, and it's 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can test the whole thing risk-free. Pimsleur is Rocket's closest competitor, but with only short lessons that sort of act like the culture notes. This feature helped push Rocket to the top of our best list for French this year. So here are my final thoughts on the program. After actually putting it to the test, I think Rocket French is one of the best French courses out there, and it's one of my personal favorites. You get real practice conversing out loud, so when the time comes, you aren't fumbling with your words, you're present and more than able to understand, you're ready to connect with others speaking French. Yes, the lessons are long, but you have flexibility in where you learn and the ability to multitask. For exposure to real authentic French, serious speaking practice, and grammar that actually makes sense, there's just a lot to love here. If you're serious about speaking French, not just recognizing it, Rocket is absolutely worth your time and money. If you want every feature broken down in detail and to see how Rocket compares to other French apps, just Google Guide to Fluency Rocket French Review. Also, we will be giving away a free language learning subscription to one of our lucky subscribers. All the details are down below in the description. It's super simple to enter. Just like, comment, and subscribe. That's everything. Bye for now.